There are many fact-checking websites. I use many of them. I use NewsGuard, which isn't necessarily a fact-checking site, but it's more of a credibility rating service. It is far from perfect, but I lean towards it being kind of okay. Breitbart obviously does not like them because they've rated Breitbart as bad. NewsGuard has also rated many in the mainstream media as credible, even though they chase the Russiagate nonsense. So again, I understand it's not perfect, and that's why I don't just use them. I use various services, including Check Your Fact. But the left is outraged because it's associated with the Daily Caller. Tucker Carlson's, they say he's promoted misinformation and is known for pro-Trump content. Oh, heavens! Pro-Trump content, you say? Oh, no! Heaven forbid someone likes the president. It doesn't mean you're inherently wrong. You can be a fact checker and support Donald Trump. Let's see what they have to say. Facebook's controversial fact-checking program is partnering with the Daily Caller, a right-wing website that has pushed misinformation and is known for pro-Trump content. Now, you may ask, Tim, why did you reference NewsGuard? I don't like them, you may say. Hold on. NewsGuard rates the Daily Caller as green checkmark, credible. Sorry, Guardian, you are not yet rated by NewsGuard, and NewsGuard has rated Daily Caller as credible. Therefore, I don't care what you have to say because look, people on the right don't like NewsGuard. They don't. I get messages about it. But you know what? They said the Daily Caller was good, so that means something. So why should I care about your concerns about misinformation? What are the misinformation you push, Guardian, which you have? I'm not going to go on a Guardian tirade. The social network said Wednesday it had added checkyourfact.com, which is part of the Daily Caller, as one of its U.S. media partners in an initiative that has faced growing backlash from journalists and internal problems. The collaboration was first reported by Axios. But now, in another bit of good news from a little while ago, Snopes quits Facebook fact-checking program amid questions over its impact. Snopes is trash. For the most part, it seems to me, Snopes just Google searches things and then writes up what they Google search, and they don't actually do any real fact-checking. They say it's very obviously partisan, and I think Snopes is relatively trash. My opinion on Check Your Fact is rather neutral. I don't think anything necessarily good or bad about them. I've used them in some instances, and there's like factchecker.org or something. Well, let's read on. Fact checkers in the program are tasked with debunking potential false stories on Facebook to help stop their spread, but some journalists have said the effort hasn't been effective, and one of its major American partners, Snopes.com, cut ties with it earlier this year. As if I care that Snopes is bowed out. No, I'm actually happy. The Daily Caller, co-founded by the far-right Fox News host Tucker Carlson. You mean the guy who was on stage with Cenk Uygur at Politicon agreeing on basically everything? The guy who's defended protectionism? Like, come on, man. Calling him far-right. He's a conservative. That's obvious. But come on. Publishes conservative news stories and commentary and has faced repeated accusations of running false and offensive comment. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make an accusation right now that The Guardian repeatedly runs false and offensive content. Okay, great. Now, The Guardian should be stripped of any... Right? No, I don't care about your opinion. In fact, it is one of the smartest things Facebook could do to bring in bipartisan fact-checking to help solve the problem. But no, Guardian, so concerned about far-right Tucker Carlson, is angry. They say in January, the site was widely condemned for the way it reported on a fake nude photo of the Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and its coverage of immigration, and the White House has typically aligned with Trump's agenda. Oh, that's hilarious, because I could be wrong, but guys, please, correct me if I got this wrong. Wasn't it, who was it who was talking about like Trump colluding with Russia for 2 years? Who was that? I can't remember. Was it basically every major media company except for the conservative outlets? So no, you get no special privileges from me, Guardian, because they misreported a photograph of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, something that mattered to nobody, and it had like 100 words to it. But you want to talk about the years of trash? Let's talk about BuzzFeed repeatedly defending the fake news they wrote about Michael Cohen and Trump, even when it was refuted by Mueller's office, it was refuted by Cohen himself, and they still defended it. Let me ask you, Guardian, you're so concerned about how someone mischaracterized a fake photo of somebody. Do I care? No, I'm sorry, I don't. Check Your Fact is billed as the fact-check department of the Daily Caller, and the site says it is nonpartisan and loyal to neither people nor parties. Oh, heavens! Daily Caller has a fact-checking department? Last I checked, most of these left-wing digital outlets don't. I know because I worked for some of them. They certainly do not have fact-checkers. In fact, I'm not going to name them, but it's common practice to just take submissions from the audience, right? You have an editor, they reach out to people, and they say, I'm a columnist, and they just publish it. They don't fact-check anything. Let's see, they say, it has dedicated reporters rating content as true and false and says it is a for-profit subsidiary of the Daily Caller Inc., of which Carlson is a majority owner. Facebook launched its fact-checking program after the 2016 presidential election saw viral propaganda and false news on its platform and other social media sites. The company now partners with a wide range of media outlets around the globe, and its current U.S. partners include the Associated Press, I approve, factcheck.org, I approve, and PolitiFact, I begrudgingly approve. Associated Press does a pretty damn good job. FactCheck, as far as I've seen, does a pretty good job. PolitiFact is partisan. However, if you're going to have the Daily Caller, then I respect them having PolitiFact as well. So there's balance, right? I firmly believe it is a good thing for Facebook to say, let's use Check Your Fact, which is associated with the right, and PolitiFact, which is associated with the left. That's fair. Of course, PolitiFact will claim it's not, but it is. We know how the game is played. Asked about its collaboration with the Daily Caller, a Facebook spokesperson noted that any news organization can apply to join the program after it gains certification from the nonpartisan International Fact-Checking Network, run by the Journalism Institute Poynter. Poynter could not be immediately reached. So Poynter approved checkyourfact.com or whatever, and they're so salty and sour. Aw, are you mad because now conservatives have a voice on a mainstream platform like Facebook? Please. This week, a Wired investigation on Facebook reported that a vice president of the company had once argued that the Facebook newsfeed should treat the content from Daily Caller and Breitbart, another right-wing outlet, in the same manner as stories from mainstream news outlets. Oh no! Oh God, other people have different opinions and view stories differently from you. Oh God. There's still like 1,000,001 outlets that are on the left that have free access to these platforms. On Wednesday, Facebook's fact-checking initiative also brought on Science Feedback, a not-for-profit organization that reviews news coverage on a range of subjects, including health and climate change. Facebook typically pays its media partners, which has led to criticisms from journalists who say this creates a conflict of interest, given that the news outlets taking Facebook funding are also tasked with scrutinizing the company's impact on society. No, look, if you're going to be hired to fact-check content on the site and you're certified by Poynter, I think it's fine. Major fact-checking sites have repeatedly debunked Daily Caller content over the years. The Daily Caller previously published articles by the white supremacists behind a far-right rally in Charlottesville, falsely labeled a Trump critic as a porn star, and published propaganda about George Soros. A Daily Caller editor was also caught writing for an alt-right website under a pseudonym last year. All valid criticisms. And I don't mean valid as incorrect. I mean, by all means, criticize the Daily Caller and throw everything you got at them. It doesn't change the fact that Poynter has approved this certification. It doesn't change the fact that by all means, Facebook should have balance. And it doesn't change the fact that The Guardian is no better than any other partisan outlet. And it certainly doesn't change the fact that The Guardian currently doesn't have a rating from NewsGuard, and the Daily Caller is rated as green check mark. So long as the Daily Caller is considered to be a credible source, you're allowed to criticize them, 100%. I'll criticize PolitiFact, and I'll say I'm glad they're both involved. Because you don't just want one partisan tribal faction. You want like a watchdog of either side. And they've got a few organizations. The AP, I think, is wonderful. Fact Check, great. I don't know if Fact Check leans in a certain direction. I don't like PolitiFact. But here's the thing. I'll tell you what's reasonable. Reasonable is me saying I think PolitiFact is biased and pushes fake news. They say Daily Caller is biased and pushes fake news. And I say, great, glad to have them both, right? It's absolutely, we shouldn't shy away from the debate. We should allow the information to be challenged, and we should allow various organizations to do this. Plain and simple. And you know, if you think PolitiFact is fake news, just recognize they think Daily Caller is fake news. And at the very least, they cancel each other out. In fact, if you think Daily Caller is right and PolitiFact is wrong, then good. Daily Caller will fact check PolitiFact. Perfect, right? Well, they're all bent about it. A Harvard report on partisan disinformation in 2016 said the Daily Caller played a key role in creating and disseminating stories that promoted deep anti-Muslim sentiment and stoked the belief this is a hit piece. Seriously, this is not journalism. This is complete and utter trash. It's not putting things in context. It's trying to mislead its audience because the Guardian is the one who's at fault here. This kind of stuff disgusts me. And you know what? At the end of the day, I'm glad Snopes is out because they're just not good at what they do. I don't care about the partisanship of Snopes. I just think Snopes has no idea what they're doing. So I'll end by saying this. You can point to 1,000,001 stories by an individual who writes 10 million stories, right? If you have years of producing content, Daily Caller's been on for a very long time. Yeah, of course there's going to be things they screwed up. But that you try and frame it a certain way. You try and act like, oh no, the Daily Caller, anti-Muslim, oh no. Okay, how about the Guardian's pro-Antifa? How about the Guardian's smearing journalists they don't like me? The Guardian is trash. David Sivak, editor of Check Your Fact, declined to answer questions about the site's arrangement with Facebook, but said in an email, I'd be happy to put our track record up against anyone else's. If you comb through the articles we've published on Check Your Fact over the last 2 years, you'll quickly see that our fact checks are fair, in-depth, and hold figures on both sides of the political aisle accountable, including Trump. And there you go. But the debate from the left is never about debate. It's about deplatforming. This article intends to smear Check Your Fact because they don't like the fact that conservatives are actually standing up to scrutiny and being involved in these programs. Because when it comes to actual debates, as many of you know, there are a lot of people, it tends to be the left that says, no, debates are a waste of time. Well, here you have the conservatives who are stepping up to the plate, and of course the Guardian's pissed, so too bad. But I'll tell you what, the next video I'm going to do is pretty bad news for people on the left. If you like San Francisco, it's covered in feces. That's my next video. I'll see you in a few minutes. It'll be up soon.